Today exercise is a little bit of a winging it as we go. So now that my knee is more or less in a state where I feel comfortable utilizing it, I wish to try to do a little bit of deadlift. If deadlift is not giving me the sense of comfort that I want because of my knee, if for example, if later on if I feel my knee is a little bit, it's kind of like want to give way, I'll press the emergency button, stop it there, and then I will transit it to hopefully barbell row. I understand that knee technically do plays a important role in these two exercises, but for barbell rows, it's not too much movement, so I'm willing to bet on that barbell rows will be slightly better if deadlift doesn't allow my knee to be cooperative. So, man, this is kind of giving me a bit of a nostalgia. I miss setting up my setup like this. So usually how I like to warm up for back is deadlift, and then sometimes I'll just switch to wide grip and then just do a little bit of like rows, like semi shrugs in a sense. I can feel a lot of strain on my lower back, mainly because I didn't sleep well last night. So I will also take note of that. I may actually just wear a belt, the one to protect my lower back, not the one to allow me to lift slightly heavier. So yeah, just for safety purposes. I don't know if I should wear a shoe for this. I don't think I need to, right? So far, my knee is feeling pretty normal. But of course, I'm technically still in the recovery stage, so I do not want to stress it out too much. Alright, I'm gonna try 60 first. This is technically still warm up, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, that feels very, very heavy. Let's try a wider grip. It feels a little bit weird, but doable at the same time. Hold on, let me just give it one more go. I think I'll do one more set as a warm up. And from there, I will make my judgment whether to continue or to switch it to barbell row. I decided to proceed on with deadlifts for mainly because, so what happened for my first warm-up was I brought my shoulder blades forward, and that was the improper how do I phrase it, positioning of my body for deadlift. So because of that, the weight felt a lot heavier. Whereas for my second set, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I brought my shoulder blade back, and the muscle memory came back to me. So yeah, bringing it back was the proper technique for me, and the weight felt a lot more proper, more appropriate and comfortable to lift. So with that, I decided to carry on with deadlifts instead of barbell rows. So now that we can proceed on with our regular program that I've planned in my head, I do wish to go a bit on the heavier side, so lesser reps, but more weight, and to really just get a good overall body workout technically. So yeah. Hold on. While we are resting, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just speak my mind, and it's something quite unexpected. So while I'm resting, I look at my knee sleeve, my knee guard, whatever you want to call it, and I was like, it got me. It reminded me of when people come to me and they're like, "Don't you feel like you're always getting injured?" Cause a bit of my life, I have dislocated my left shoulder a solid 13 times, I believe. There was once I dislocated it 3 times in a day. So you can somewhat assume my character now, that I'm very head-on and stubborn, but that's not what we are talking about today. What I want to talk about is the fact that I kind of realize, and it's kind of a no-brainer, the people who get injured more often are the people who actually do something. To put it in a more relatable terms, you make more mistakes in life for those who tries more. For someone who have never touched the, for example, test paper, they will never make a mistake because they basically never did the test. It's a bit like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So it's good to make mistakes, not because you learn from it, not because it is a learning curve for you, not because you should demoralize yourself, but rather making mistake is also a very courageous sign that you are trying. And I think that's really good. That's pretty good. Because for someone who don't make mistake, they've never really gotten out of their comfort zone, have they? They're always in a little box, being watched and guided every move that they make. Like for me, I'm an engineering student, so there's a lot of things in my room that is actually DIY. Like for example, in some of my videos, you can actually see the Nerf guns hanging on the walls over here. It may be a simple mini project or house decoration, but there's a lot of thoughts put into it. And for example, things where I had to improvise, like making, I made a life-size scaled version of the Minecraft sword. Let me just go ahead and show you right now. So this is the life-size scaled version Minecraft picture frame. So things like that, I made it myself, and of course, there's a lot of trials and error to it. You might think just measure out a simple wood, measure it out simply, and then just cut it out. Well, I had to measure the pixel of the sword and then scaled the frame accordingly. So the numbers were really odd. It was like 2 decimal points, stuff like that. Let's continue after this set. Hold on, forgot to set up. So yeah, and there's a lot of other things in my house that, or rather in my room, there's a little bit of a DIY. Like for example, the rack where I store all my gym equipments, accessories. I planned it out myself. I had to do it myself because I didn't want to, or I've come to an age where I wanted to prove to my parents that I am able to think for myself, at least in a certain scale for now. Things like buying a house, paying taxes, these kind of things. I'm still learning along the way, but currently I do not have the reasoning to explore these adulting habits, so I've yet to touch on them. But things like just repair work and whatnot is something that I would tend to rely on my capability and skill set first before I actually consult a professional about it. So yeah, I'm going a bit off track, but basically it's good to make mistakes in life because it shows that you are actually trying to do something. You are trying to learn something. You are trying something that you have never done before. But of course you can say like, I have done deadlift before, but to fail a deadlift, something that you have been, like for example, I'm doing 90 kg right now. My warm-up set I was doing 60, but it felt really heavy. Why? Because I made a mistake, even though I have done a 60 kg deadlift before. So just because you are good at something, you excel at it, that doesn't mean that you still do not need to learn from it. And that is the mindset that I have every single day, to know that I am not good enough in a positive way. Like I tell myself that I have a lot more to learn in this world. Like I can always say, because I'm an engineering student, I am more profound and I will naturally excel when it comes to, like for example, doing DIY projects. But when it comes to stuff like, for example, literature, history, geography, that is something I don't explore in my life. And I'll admit I'm actually really bad in my studies. So, like I said, there's always things to learn. I'm doing 100 kg now, so I'm just loading up my stuff. So yeah, I had a lot of people come to me and be like, hey, KB, I want to lead a more healthy lifestyle so that I don't feel so bad about my body and my health and overall myself, like themselves. But they're always scared because it all comes down to like judgment. Like, oh, what if I do something stupid? What if I do something careless, or like I feel the weight? Everyone's just gonna look at me and like, damn, this kid's like a sore loser or something like that. And I straight up told them, I have done stupid stuff in the gym before. I'm talking like, I have deadlift with an easy bar before, like the one with like a resistor wire. I have failed a 60 kg bench press, and I had to ask like a 70-year-old man to come and save me. And fella just bicep curl that bar, like that weight, like he was, I don't know, like he built this nation or something like that. I mean, I guess he did, but yeah. So it's stuff like this where you really learn like, okay, maybe I'm not that strong yet. How can I get better? How can I improve? So you always need to have a follow through. You made a mistake, follow through. You make a win, follow through. How did I win this? Mistake, how do I lose this? What could have been done better? So it's always good to have self-reflection. At the end of the day, you can be like, man, I didn't really do stuff productively today. I'm sorry, I didn't do anything productive today. But you can be like, hey, sometimes, maybe today is not really a day, not really my day. Don't beat yourself over the small things. So yeah. I know I'm getting like very sidetracked here, but I just want to talk about like just life in general, your experiences, to really know that you have lived it to a certain expectation and standards. Is one telltale sign is you're actually making mistakes. I may need a belt for this. I don't know. We'll see. Ah, 90% of the things that I have said here is pretty much just me yapping. There's something about me is I'm not great with communications. When you give me a topic, somehow I can just branch it out to like 7 other things, and I'll talk about the 7 other things. So yeah. So because of that, I kind of tend to keep quiet now and be more observant, plan out my thoughts and my script. What you heard just now was more of a yapping session where I was just letting my chain of thought just flow everywhere. So yeah, I load up 120 on the bar. I'm gonna do this for maybe another 2 more sets. I'm wearing this for mainly back protection. So yeah, I understand it's very broken. It's not too tight. So let's go ahead and try this out. I look like I'm from the military now. So yeah, let's try weighted pull-ups. I'm really tempted to use lifting straps for this one. You know what? Let's just do it, I guess. But obviously, I'm not going to go for high reps. At least not with the weighted pull-ups. Normal pull-ups maybe, but once again, my pull-up game is pretty weak. Sorry, not strong. So we'll see. We'll see. If I can do 6 for this one, I think that's pretty good. I don't even know what's the weight on this vest. I just picked it up. Oh, my shoulder cracked. That's a very good sign. Uh, uh, I really do have a love-hate relationship with weighted vests because I get used to the heavy weight, so I will naturally want to output more power. And then when I take it off and I immediately try to pull again, my body's gonna naturally give the output of when my body is heavier, like when I had the vest on, which is very, very obvious. You can see the first 3 reps or so, I basically shot up to the top, and good is good, but I wasted a lot of energy, which is why I started to have the swinging motion. I had to pause for a while, and like I say, it all comes down to learning points. Was it a mistake? I wouldn't classify it, but it's a good learning point. You know, maybe I should take a longer break or remind myself that the first rep I should control it, reset my body a little bit. So yeah. Damn. I think to immediately jump back to heavy weights from resting 2 months, no go. Now that's a mistake. Um, Coincidentally, unfortunately, my mistake for today's session was I jumped too fast into the heavy weight once again, which caused my left shoulder to be really, really jammed up. And so, I mean, the workout doesn't stop there. I will go down to the local gym and do a little bit of a machine exercises instead of body weight, free weights, you know, to really cancel out the need for stability, substitute it for something a little bit more safer. So yeah, honestly, it's just an excuse for me to come down here in gym. I just kind of love it a lot more here. Alright guys, what you're gonna see here is me cooking my lunch, which is basically a fresh piece of salmon. Right here, I got it from the fish market this morning, so I'll go ahead and prepare it. So as you can see, this piece of salmon right here is relatively big. There's a lot of fats, which my favorite. I like it. So let's go ahead and give it a nice rinse, nice rub down a little bit. Okay, we let it sit here while we prepare the garlic. So for the garlic, you want to cut off the roots. There's a lot of way to prepare it. People like to smash it and then they can peel the skin out easier. But for me, I like to cut it away. Cut the roots away and wash the garlic. And then later I'll smash it, throw it into the pot of oil to just give it that fragrance. So right now, I will dry the salmon so that it will not stick onto the pan later when I cooked it. Use a paper towel, use something that's relatively thicker instead of a tissue so that, you know, the paper towel will not stick onto the salmon, but unfortunately I think it's right now stinking. I can't tell if it's the skin or if it's the tissue paper towel that's sticking onto my salmon. Whatever. Just pat it down, give it a good pat down. Flip it to the other side. Pat down as well. You just want to make sure it's as dry as you can make it be. And then you're good to go. Ooh, the skin looks amazing. Obviously, wash your hands before this. Cooking must be a very, very hygienic procedure. Okay, now that my salmon is relatively dry, let me just go ahead and wash my hand with soap before I touch anything else. You realize that actually a lot of times you do need to wash your hands with soap in between processes just to keep safe. Alright, now that I pat it down, I'm going to season my salmon now with a little bit of salt and black pepper. Oops. Now, my mom, she taught me to actually coat the entire salmon with flour just so that it actually won't stick onto the pan. I'm gonna go big or go home for this time round. And you know what? Let's listen to our parents. So I'm going to show you a bit of a Chinese way of cooking, or at least my mom's way of cooking. So I'm just going to flip this around. Okay, I'm going to try something, which is basically to... Okay, that's enough flour for now. Once again, wash my hands because I attached the salmon. And I'm going to close it back in. Close this back. Have I closed this properly? Okay, so I'm gonna season the salmon later when it's getting cooked. So yeah, you just want to spread the flour evenly around. Just want to make sure that the skin is coated well, and then the other side as well. So I'm just gonna just jab it in. Now there's a lot of ways to cook your salmon. Online videos will say to season it, and then you heat up the pan with sufficient oil, and then you're good to go. Salmon won't stick, but I'm just gonna go with a method that I'm more familiar with today. Pat it out. Okay, and then I'll leave it one side. Once again, wash my hands. And we're good to start the fire. So I'll take a little bit of oil. Hold on, I'm using a big pan for today. A big wok, sorry. I'll just add a little bit more. Alright. About like a tablespoon of oil. Bring it around. Maybe slightly more. Oosh. That's a little bit too much, but it's okay. It's okay. At least I get to evenly coat my pan now, my wok. So I wanted to use this, which fit the fish just nice, but sometimes it's good to have a bigger pot. So this is where I'll take my garlic, smash it real good, and then just let it sit there. So while the garlic is sitting there, I like to use my time to actually just wash up whatever I need to wash up now, so that I won't have so much stuff to wash later on. It's a bit of like, you can always leave everything to the end and just wash them later, but it's just the way I was brought up. Well, when you can save time, save it, because we only have 24 hours. It's good to use them wisely. Take a spatula. Oops. You know what? Let's not take a spatula. Let's take a tong instead. Take a tong. Ooh, damn. Cook the garlic. For me, I'll say it's okay to let the garlic burn a little bit. Okay, lower the heat. Okay, lift the garlic one side. And then put the fish down. Remember to put it facing away from you. And then just let it sit there. Once again, while I'm letting it sit there, washed up once again. Cooking is something that I feel everyone can do. It's just how natural is it for you. When I first started cooking, it was very slow for me. Like the time for me to chop up the garlic, mince it, or just prepare the ingredients in general. It takes me a while, and I tend to get very, very messy with it. So it's not that good, but over the years, practice, practice, practice. And yeah, you're good to go. So my garlic's a little bit burned, but like I say, it's just there for the fragrance. So now I'm just gonna throw it away. It's a bit of a waste, I understand. But sometimes cooking, you just need certain ingredient for the flavors. So yeah, like When I first started off, I only cook sunny side ups. I only cook eggs. I only cook fried rice. The basic stuff like a lot of stirring and frying. And over the years, I want to upgrade myself. You know, it's always good to upgrade yourself to slowly do more things so you are more skillful and you can provide for yourself in the future. So for me, because I'm a very paranoid person, let me just go ahead and take the camera. So this is my salmon. As you can see, is hold on, move. Yep, it's not sticking to the wok, which is really good. And just gonna let it cook. Just let it cook, bro. Now that I look at it, it's actually quite big, but it's okay. Let it cook about halfway through. I'm not really smelling any burnt smell, so that's okay. So yeah. Fun fact, this is actually like my second time cooking salmon. First time cooking without supervision. The very first time I cooked salmon, I was helping my mom out. She asked me for help. I had to cook for the family. Let me just show you the size. So this is a salmon that I usually, or my mom usually cook for the family. It's quite a big piece. No, the salmon is pretty big. On second thought, I may use a spatula for help. Okay, so it's actually kind of a little bit burnt in a sense, but it's still okay. It's still okay. I'll show you the color. So this is a salmon now. So I'll just lower the heat slightly. Yep. Because this wok can actually get really hot. And then maybe now, then I'll shake some pepper in. Salt. I don't know whether I should put the salt now or later. Maybe I'll put it now. Japanese salt, by the way. Oh, the plastic came off. I wanted to cook this Alfredo style, carbonara style, but I don't have the sauce, unfortunately, so. Once again, I like to tilt my pan here and there, just in a way to make sure that my food is not sticking to the pot. It's just like a cooking habit of mine. Honestly, I don't know whether it's cooked or not. Try not to touch your food as much as possible, especially when you're pan frying or grilling steak, chicken, pork, fish, whatever it is. As long as you're pan frying it or grilling it, don't touch it too much. Unless you are stir frying it. So it's kind of a little bit brown. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cooking the sides. So I'm going to lift it up and hold it there. Because there's some part on the edge where are thicker. So let's just cook them to make sure, you know, it's fully cooked. But this is not like sashimi grade where I can just, yeah. Put in a hot region. Cook it to the other side now. Okay, now that it's standing on its own, I can actually show you what I mean So yeah, so I just cooked this edge over here. Now I'm cooking the other end. You can see it's, let me just show you the other side. It's actually not too bad, not too shabby. I'll show you the end product, no worries. Salmon is quite a forgiving food in a sense that if you overcook it, don't be too afraid. So yeah, as you can see, the flour kind of works. My food is not sticking to it. The flour can be a variable that affects it. So yeah. So I think my salmon is really more or less done. If I'm really paranoid about it, I can just poke a hole in the middle, open up just to see. Yes, it will destroy the presentation, but this is not fine dining. I can really just press it. If it's still a little bit squishy, you know the inside is still not that cooked. If your salmon is really breakable, then you know it's really more or less cooked. So I'm gonna turn high heat for a very short moment, and really quickly, sorry, season my salmon. If not, it will burn. There we go. And voila, we are done. So I'll just let it sit there for a while because we want to get the skin really crispy. Drain out the oil. That is a lot of oil. And then we are done. So, yep. Let me just go ahead and see what I can do to clean up or cook an extra 1 or 2 items if I can. But that's really nothing much for me, is there? I can cook an egg, but it'll be really oily, so I wouldn't want to. So yeah, this is the end product. I'll show you later. I'll just go ahead and clean up. So voila, there you have it. A nice stick of salmon. Just to check whether it's cooked or not, let me just go ahead and open it up. Oh, the skin is really, oh, look at that. The skin just peels right off. Wow. Poke it in. Yep, it's cooked. It's cooked. I'm just go ahead and put it back down as if nothing ever happens. So there you go. Salmon.